Hey, what is going on, y'all? Today we're going to look at some movies that are coming out this year that are looking to be some bangers. We got 10 of them, and so we're going to go into our first one. But just before we get into that, the honorable mention is going to be Black Adam. You know, The Rock's been gunning for that role for who knows how long. I think it's been like over 10 years for sure, at least. But that movie looks like it could be incredible, and it looks like a total blast. And without spending an eternity on the intro, let's go into our number 10 spot, which is the Super Mario movie. So, there's been quite a divisive reaction, to say the least, to this movie. But I personally think that it could be good, even given Illumination Studios' sort of okay track record. I think that they have some pretty great films. Most of them are just okay. But honestly, seeing the talent with the movie, I think it could be pretty fun and go under a lot of people's radar. Some of these casting decisions are actually so good. Like Jack Black as Bowser, that's so genius. Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, that's gonna be amazing. And Chris Pratt, people are totally spazzing out on the dude, but he's gonna kill it because he did so well as Emmett in the Lego movies. Honestly, I think this movie could be really great this year, and it's one that you probably gotta see and judge for yourself.
It's a me, a Mario.
So our number 9 spot is the Whitney Houston biopic, I Wanna Dance with Somebody. So there's not actually much about this movie right now. There's not even a trailer actually. But the main draw is gonna be how the actress that they cast, Naomi Aki, is gonna portray Whitney Houston, one of the greatest pop stars we've ever had. I'm mostly excited to see the covers that they do of the Whitney Houston songs. I think this movie could also have a really great 80s vibe to it. And from the little I've seen of the actress, I think she could do really good in this role, actually. I'm excited to see this one this holiday season. So, at number 8, we got The Man from Toronto, starring Woody Harrelson and Kevin Hart. This movie, I don't have a whole lot to say on, but Kevin Hart, he's one of the funniest actors in the industry. And this just looks like a solid, exciting time at the movies. A great, buddy cop action movie that we could look forward to. So, number 7 is Death on the Nile. This is one of many movies this year that was supposed to come out last year or the year before. And on this list, this is the one that's supposed to come out the soonest, coming out on February 11th. The trailers for this movie looked great. The whodunit aspect of the movie is really intriguing, along with the setting with an Egyptian vacation. That sounds really cool. And the cast looks really great for the movie. At number 6, we had the new Elvis biopic releasing in June. So I wasn't too excited when this movie was announced, but that teaser trailer that they released around last fall was so good. It had this excellent haunting atmosphere around it, and it really intrigued me. From the teaser trailer, we could see that Austin Butler's playing Elvis. He really has the mannerisms and presence down that Elvis had, and I think that he could do a really great faithful adaptation of him. My only fear about this movie is that Tom Hanks playing Tom Parker might take away some of the spotlight from Elvis and his life. There are some instances where teasers can be deceiving, but I think this movie could turn out to be good. And at number 5 is Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever, releasing in November this year. Most of my interest for this movie stems out of pure curiosity, and I believe that this is going to be the most risky Marvel movie ever. So, this comes after the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman, who they said they will not use a CGI double or recast, which I think are both great decisions. This movie does have quite a lot to juggle, however, because it will deal with the successor of Black Panther, which will definitely be Shuri, and there will be more world building for Atlantis and more world building for Wakanda, as well as a new villain into the mix. We're also introducing Ironheart into the MCU, and I think that's just way too much for this movie. I feel like they're trying to do the Peter Parker thing from Civil War, but there's just too much going on in this movie that they should have saved her origin for the Disney Plus series. The success of No Way Home has kind of made me optimistic about this movie, because that movie also had some circumstances surrounding it that made it very difficult, but if that film could be really amazing, then maybe this one could be too. At number 4 is Don't Worry Darling. So this is Olivia Wilde's second feature-length movie, and while Booksmart was rated a bit too highly by critics, I think this movie could be even better than her first movie. It's basically supposed to be a psychological thriller surrounding this utopian 1950s community that goes wrong. The cast for this movie also looks pretty great. You have Florence Pugh in there, who's been incredible in a lot of movies that she's done. Then there's Chris Pine, who's great always. And then Harry Styles, who hasn't been in much, but he's proven to be a pretty fine actor. My third most anticipated movie is Into the Spider-Verse 2, coming this holiday season. The last movie is brilliant, but I'll talk about that in the Spider-Man ranking. And it does have to do with my excitement for this movie, but this movie I think could be really special because it is one of two parts of this story. There's been some really neat additions added to this movie, such as the debut of Miguel O'Hara as Spider-Man, and also I really like the choice of an obscure villain in The Spot. And if the rumors are true, we might get another No Way Home reunion, but with the animated Spider-Man, which would be incredible to see on screen. I have no doubt that that soundtrack will be full of bangers, and that this movie could end up being one of the best of this year. The runner-up for this list is Knives Out 2. When the first movie came out, it was such a breath of fresh air, because it was a fun movie, and it wasn't a sequel, spin-off, or a reboot. It was an original IP. Perhaps my favorite thing the original did was to bring the classic whodunit story to the modern era without being cringeworthy. It's also really great to see Daniel Craig return. He had this weird accent in the first movie. Definitely was not Southern, but he's a really entertaining character and one of the best parts of it. And this movie is scheduled to come out in the fall in theaters and on Netflix. My most anticipated movie of the year is The Batman, coming March 4th. This movie, at least from the trailers and everything we've seen, has all the perfect elements of a Batman story. It's probably going to give us the most complex Bruce Wayne we've ever seen, and it'll also delve into the balance between Bruce Wayne and Batman. The music also sounds sort of dark and hopeful. It has a lot of similar vibes to the Batman the Animated Series music, which is great. The casting for Batman, his villains, and the other characters in this movie are spot on, and the fight scenes look phenomenal. The Riddler also looks like he'll be a fantastic villain. He's played by the incredibly talented Paul Dano, and he looks like he'll be a real threat to Batman this movie. The direction from Matt Reeves really gives me a lot of faith in this movie because I know it could absolutely nail franchise film with the last two Planet of the Apes movies. All in all, I'm excited to see the first Batman solo movie in 10 years, and this may very well end up being the best one we've seen. Hey, I'm glad you made it to the end of the video. Comment your list down below. Stay tuned for the next upload. Bye.